welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So today we are talking about one of the most anticipated, if not the most anticipated movie of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine. For the most part, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm going to do some spoiler thoughts at the very end of the video, but I will make sure to let you guys know when I'm jumping into that, so that way if you haven't seen the film, you don't get spoiled. I know I had one cameo ruined for me before I saw the film. I don't want that to happen to you guys. So again, I will make sure once we get to that point that I'm going to let you know I'm going to get into some spoilers. Otherwise, you guys will be good to go. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the movie. Deadpool and Wolverine team up to save Deadpool's universe. That's all you really need to say. You had Deadpool and Wolverine teaming up. A lot of people thought that this was never going to happen, mainly because of how nicely Logan's story was wrapped up several years ago in his film Logan. So we thought that Hugh Jackman was done. He wasn't going to be playing the character again, but Ryan Reynolds was able to convince him, and now we're here. Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool and Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine are just some of the most perfect castings in comic book movie history. They truly embody those characters, and the friendship that they have, or kind of little rivalry that they have off screen too, you know, that chemistry that they already had coming into this movie, well, I can tell you guys that that definitely shows up here in the film. And so does Deadpool and Wolverine deliver on how it's being advertised? And in my opinion, yes it does. This might be the most Deadpool movie that we've gotten so far. Just from beginning to end, you get everything that you're hoping for from a Deadpool movie. You get the fourth wall breaking, the humor that Deadpool is known for. I was cracking up, laughing out loud several times throughout this film, and so was my audience. The banter back and forth between Deadpool and Wolverine here is exactly what you're hoping for. We get some great fight scenes between the characters, because I know a lot of people have been waiting years to see that happen. But you also get some really heartfelt moments between both Deadpool and Wolverine, which I really appreciated, just to kind of balance things out, because yes, this film is filled with laughs from beginning to end. There's lots of blood, guts, and gore, but just having those heartfelt moments, which the other Deadpool movies have had, as well as, Logan, I just really appreciated that, just to kind of like level things out a bit. And I know a lot of people were worried. One of the main concerns is that when Deadpool was announced that he was going to be coming into the MCU, that people thought, oh, is he going to be Disney-fied? And if you guys have seen the trailers, and this isn't going to be like any spoilers, just kind of vague general references of what happens, but if the pegging jokes, the cocaine references, and things like that haven't sold you that this isn't going to be a Disney-fied Deadpool movie, trust me when I tell you this, you guys don't have to worry about that at all. Pretty much right from the get-go, you know this is a Deadpool movie. Like I said, there's plenty of blood, guts, gore, tons of F-bombs. Needless to say, this is not a movie for little children. I mean, if you want to take your kids, if they're younger, I'm not going to judge you, but I'm just saying it's not a movie made for kids. It definitely earns its hard R rating here for sure. This is definitely a film that you want to go to the theaters to experience on the biggest screen possible with as many as people as possible, because this is an event type of film. Just getting to the theater and seeing, it was sold out, the parking lot was packed, the, opening night that we went on Thursday, getting inside, seeing everyone wearing the Deadpool and Wolverine shirts, all the merchandise that was surprisingly still available at the Cinemark that I went to that opening night, which I'm sure most of it is probably gone by now. I got this, it wasn't from Cinemark, but I was lucky enough to get one of these from AMC. This personally, I know a lot of people like the Wolverine buckets, but this is probably my favorite one. Just the detail and like the actual like a rubber, mask here. So I thought this one was really cool, Headpool. But yeah, just getting inside and feeling that excitement in the air, everyone just anxious to, to watch this film unfold. It was just truly an experience. One of my favorite things about going to the movies is just experiencing these type of movies with a big crowd and just hearing everyone's reactions, to the parts in the film when you're supposed to react. It was just an incredible experience, and definitely my favorite Marvel film since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And so now the cameos. Again, right now I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to ruin anything for you. I had one of the cameos ruined for me. It was like a couple days before, maybe I think it was like last weekend. Fandango happened to post it on Facebook, and it was literally the first thing that came up on my feed, and I was like, oh, cool, thanks Fandango, I really appreciate that. I guess they kind of let out their reason this weekend of like why they did that, but still it would have been nice to have that, surprise in the theaters. If you guys have managed to avoid all of the spoilers, God bless you. I don't know how you've been able to do that because by now it's definitely all over the place. But all I will just say is that several of the cameos, if not all of them, but several specifically, just made me so freaking happy to see these characters come up on the screen. Yeah, I was pumped that opening night seeing it. And yeah, and these cameos too, they're not just kind of there to be like, oh, look at this person, this person. They fit into the story. It actually makes sense, which I really appreciated as well. And one of the major criticisms that I'm seeing from the film is that some people are saying that, oh, there's no real story here, the plot's lacking. And to me, honestly, I wasn't going into this film expecting some like Oscar level script or anything like that. To me, this film is really about these two characters, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the journey that they go on throughout this film. We meet them at a certain point in their lives, and just to see where they end up by the end of the film was really satisfying for me. So that's what I was looking for. That's what I got. We got a Wolverine, Deadpool, buddy cop team-up movie, and then we got some really fun cameos in there as well. That's all I was expecting from this movie, so I guess just depending on what you guys are expecting from the film will determine how you like it overall. But I really dug it. So this truly was a movie made for the fans, and I absolutely fucking loved it. We got to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again without messing up Logan, and Ryan and Hugh working together was just incredible. Deadpool and Wolverine was an absolute party from start to end, and one that I can't wait to revisit again, as I've already seen it twice so far up to this point. As far as the score goes, I'm going to give this thing a 9.3 out of 10. Score might even go up, the more that I see it, because now I've seen it twice so far, and it was just as good, if not better, the second time around. Especially going in, you know what's going to happen, and getting to hear people react to some of the cameos and stuff like that, or just the major scenes in the film. That's always a lot of fun for me. But yeah, so those are going to be my spoiler-free thoughts on the film overall. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. But now I'm going to give you a fair warning. I'm going to jump into just some quick kind of spoiler thoughts that I have about the film, because rather than doing a second video, I'm probably just going to put them, I'm just going to put them all together. It's going to be easier. So again, at this point, I'm going to start talking about my spoiler thoughts for the video. So if you haven't seen the film, make sure you go see it, then come back. Or if you've already seen it, great. We'll go ahead and talk about that. Or if you just don't care, let's go ahead and jump into it. So yeah, we'll start off with the two cameos, the characters that I was most pumped to see. Wesley Snipes' Blade. Holy fucking shit, guys. When I'd heard there was like rumors that could maybe show up, but I just didn't think it was going to happen because of the rift between Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes from years ago when they worked on Blade Trinity. That was just so freaking cool, man. I never thought that we were going to see Wesley Snipes as Blade again. Maybe in Secret Wars like coming up, I thought that could be a possibility, but I didn't think we were going to see him here. So just seeing him on screen and delivering some of his iconic lines from the Blade films, that he's one of my favorite comic book characters, especially as far as like the movies go. So seeing him, that made me so happy. Like that, I was like, yep, movie's made for me right here, man. And then X-23, seeing her back in the film, she was the one that got spoiled for me because, again, like I said, I opened up my Facebook, Fandango, they literally had a picture of her right there in the film. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me, guys? We got like a week to go. Apparently, it was last night, I think it was when they did the Deadpool, or maybe it was the night before, the panel at Comic-Con. They said that the reason they did that is because she wanted to go to the red carpet premiere. So I understand that, but at the same time, it's like just, I don't know. Yeah, I just wish I could have avoided that because that would have just really added to the surprise for me. But nevertheless, it was just amazing to see those two characters, pop up in the film. So those are my favorite cameos overall. And they actually played a significant role too. They weren't just there, popped up for 1 second and they were gone, which I really dug. Some of the other characters, so then you had Chris Evans show up. When you first see him, you see his arm and it had like the red and blue. And I was like, wait, Captain America? What the hell is going on? And then you see him, as soon as he said, I don't know if he said it was like Dick or just he said something that wasn't something you usually hear Captain America say. I was like, oh, wait a second. And then he does the flame on, turns into Johnny Storm. That got quite the pop from the audience that I saw, with both times. So that was, it was really fun to see him in the film. And I'm sure he really enjoyed that, getting to play that character again. And then we have Elektra. She popped up, which that one I had heard rumors about too, that she was maybe going to pop up in the film. But again, another character is like, didn't think that we'd probably see her, in another Marvel movie. And then Channing Tatum as Gambit, which, if you guys know about that, he was supposed to play the character years ago, and it just kind of fell into development hell and then never ended up happening. So he never got a chance to play the character, and they referenced that in this movie. And you could just tell, man, that he was having a blast playing this character, this role in this film, just having that dream come true of actually getting to play that character for a pretty significant amount of time in the movie. I was so happy for him, and he had some really funny lines in here too. So yeah, I mean, those cameos. You have some of the other, some like other minor kind of characters from the Fox like universe as well, like Toad, Pyro, which if you've seen the trailers, you've seen him, Juggernaut, different people like that showed up at fight scenes and everything. And then, I mean, not a spoiler again if you've seen the trailers, but Cassandra Nova, I really liked her as a character. I picked up an X-Men comic book graphic novel thing not too long ago that had some stories with her in it, so I knew a little bit about her character, but now I definitely want to read some more. She was badass, and Emma Corrin, I don't know if I'm saying the last name right, so I apologize if I had that wrong, but fantastic actress. I definitely want to check out more stuff by them. Just the performance here as Cassandra Nova was amazing, especially the scenes where would stick her hands into the other characters. I was like, holy, that is just so nasty. And then the scene, like one of the scenes toward the very end where she's using this machine basically to like rip a hole and destroy all the universes besides the Void. And Deadpool and Wolverine, they go down, they're trying to stop her. And then they have an epic version of Madonna's Like a Prayer playing. And holy shit, man. One of my favorite things, especially, superhero movies, but it really in any media, they did this with Stranger Things too. Whenever you just find a piece of music that works so well with the scene and just adds to it and, just makes it so epic, like they did here, like they did with Stranger Things running up that hill, that must just be such a fun job trying to find a song that fits and just, makes that moment, takes it to the next level. And that's what they did here. I need to find that version of the song online. I saw something on YouTube, so I believe that's the version that was in the film. But holy shit, gave me goosebumps both times that I've seen it. So I just had an absolute fucking blast with this movie. Oh, actually, one more thing that I want to mention as far as, spoilers go. The beginning, the introduction for the opening credits of the movie where Deadpool is fighting the TVA and he's he's killing them to NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. So fucking cool, man. And I saw that NSYNC actually changed the title of the video on YouTube to saying From Deadpool and Wolverine, which is smart. But yeah, he learned the choreography from the music video and everything. That just to start off, I was like, yeah, we're in for a fun ride here. So yeah, those are just some of the things. I'm trying to think, am I missing anything that I wanted to kind of like touch on? Oh, and at the very end, which I'm curious for you guys, so if you have seen the film, if you have, please put the comments in. Just make sure you use spoilers so that way no one else gets spoiled. But at the very end, when Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool and Wolverine, so they ask the TVA, I forget her name, the one from Loki, seasons 1 and 2, they ask her if she can save some of the characters that got eaten by Lyeth, or whatever his name is. God, I'm just spacing on some of the characters' names, but got eaten by him, and they were like, oh, is there any way that you could possibly, bring them back? They, it wasn't their fault that they got involved in this. And so we see X-23 at the very end. So now, so that she's in Deadpool's world. Is she in the MCU? That's what I took it as, that she's in the MCU now. But if any of you guys could just confirm that for me, that would be great. And then we don't see Blade, we don't see Gambit, we don't see Elektra. But when he asked her if they could save those people, she said, I'll see what I can do. Do you guys think that she saved them as well? Maybe they're going to show up in Secret Wars? Or do you think that she only saved X-23? I'm curious, what your guys' thoughts are on that overall. And are we going to see Hugh Jackman, do you think, more than just Secret Wars? Because I think he'll probably show up again in there. But do you think that he's going to show up in other films as well moving forward? I kind of feel that he might now. Even though at the end he says, like, you're not going to see me, but I definitely think he's going to pop up in a couple films other than just Secret Wars. So I knew that was going to happen, guys, that I was going to forget a couple things just trying to remember it all in my head. But obviously I have to talk about all the Deadpool showing up, the Deadpool corpse. So just to see all the different variants of Deadpool coming through, that was amazing, hilarious. The fight between Wolverine and our Deadpool versus the rest of the Deadpools. So cool. We got to see Ladypool, which I know a lot of people were like, who's it going to be? Is it Blake Lively? Is it Taylor Swift? Got confirmation that it's Blake Lively, which I was kind of expecting as far as that goes. So yeah, that whole thing was amazing. And the one thing that I was kind of surprised is I thought maybe at that point when they were fighting all the Deadpools, I thought we were going to have, because up to that point we hadn't had really any of the other X-Men show up. So I thought maybe they were going to show up at that point in the film, like some other universes, X-Men. Because the one in Wolverine's world, they were dead, but I thought maybe another world was going to show up and help them fight. But I guess maybe that wouldn't have made sense. But I was just kind of surprised we didn't have any of those cameos, just where there was rumors about, Patrick Stewart. I could have swore I saw something online, this was like months ago or whatever, shooting scenes of like Cyclops. So that must have just been a fake, something to kind of throw people off, which they did a great job. But yeah, so I was kind of surprised we didn't get any of those cameos, but you know what? I'm happy with what we got. That's totally fine. I was more than happy with what we got. But yeah, that was just one of the things that I guess surprised me a little bit. So now, I believe I got everything that I wanted to talk about. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting something. So if I did, and if you guys want to talk about it, just again, make sure you put it down in the description and just use spoilers so that way people know that you're going to be talking about spoilers in the film. Yeah, leave your thoughts down below. This was so much fun. I can't wait to watch it again. It was just one of those movies, you go to the film, I haven't felt this way. Like Guardians was fun. I feel like it didn't have quite the excitement that this film did. Probably haven't felt this way since Infinity War and Endgame as far as just the level of hype and excitement going to a Marvel movie. And so it was just really fun to experience that with a crowd again and just to, talk to people about it. We were talking after the movie. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Give this video a thumbs up. And as always, guys, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.